Hello and welcome to another update video about Solana. On the Solana chart, I'm still watching if we can get some kind of a reaction here at the 50% retracement level. At the moment, everything we've seen was not enough to call it really a breakout or something. We can actually add a trend line here to the chart, which is giving us potentially a first perspective if things are changing and if this wave one to the upside is starting. Essentially, that is what we're watching for. We're watching for a potential wave one rally to the upside. And that would be a signal that here this C wave has actually started, the C wave of the third wave. Yeah? Why is it important? Well, first of all, we have two scenarios on this chart. We have two scenarios. We've got one scenario in yellow, which I find a little bit more likely. But in the end, they both are bullish scenarios. And both scenarios would forecast rising prices. It's just a question about how far do we retrace now. And that is incredibly difficult on this chart to determine at the moment. Again, as I said, I find the yellow wave count more likely, but that doesn't mean that we have to go down all the way into the yellow support area. The orange support, which could also be relevant for the yellow wave count, I know it's confusing, is relevant first. So don't get all confused about two different wave counts. First of all, they are both bullish and they share to a degree the similar support levels. To explain all of that might lead too far, so I just highlight it. So the yellow wave count is, as explained in, I think, yesterday's video, again, a bullish count where we count the move up into the February highs as a wave one. Then A wave down, an overshooting B wave because it was just a 3-wave rally. It is not an impulse, even though it looks technically impulsive, but it's not a 5-wave move. It was only a 3-wave move. And we could be coming down now in a C wave. Now, this C wave could, because of the overshooting B wave, end above the low of the A wave. How do we determine that? Well, we can just define the relevant levels to watch. First of all, how do we do that? We take the length of the wave A, because wave A and wave C are oftentimes in a Fibonacci relationship with each other. It makes sense to compare that length of the A wave with a projection for wave C. And the first target that becomes relevant here is the 1855 level, which means if we get into this region around 1850, 1860, this is a level to watch. I would pay attention to that level. This is for the yellow wave count. Of course, if it goes below that, the other support areas become relevant. And even if we go below that level, it could still be the yellow count. Again, it is a bullish wave count as long as we're holding the $12 level. Below that, we may turn bearish, but then we still have the $10 level. I would really only turn really bearish about this chart below $10. Until then, price has the possibility to drop and still be in a bullish scenario, which is why we need to be so clear about the different time frames here. Very short term, we have a downtrend. As you can clearly see, we are below a descending trend line. However, you could say medium term, we might be getting back into an uptrend and we might be in an uptrend and we're tracking bullish scenarios. However, the risk is currently potentially quite high because from where we are now, the price could drop more than 50% and still be in a bullish scenario. Do you understand what I mean? You need to see a drop for more than 50% to understand if we are bearish or bullish here. And until I see evidence that we're bearish, I'm tracking bullish. It's just that you need to know that, because if you now, let's say someone is insane and goes all in on Solana now, you need to be able to take the heat of a 50% drop or more, and it could still be in this bullish scenario, okay? This is the situation on this chart, which is what I call messy. Sometimes charts are just messy, especially in the altcoin sector. Okay, but what is the orange wave count? The orange wave count, even though I consider that slightly less likely, it is still a scenario worth tracking because we have some more imminent support here. And we've got this count as a wave one as well, but then the wave two already finished here in June. And this move up was an A wave of wave three. We're now coming back in a B wave of wave 3, and then a C wave of wave 3 would go higher. Targeting, I mean, what is the target for the third wave? This is at the moment a moving target until we have more clarity about the subwaves. as they are developing, but minimum target here would be $43 minimum. Okay. Condition here for the orange count to remain a likely count. I don't say it's unlikely. All I'm saying is I find it less likely than the yellow one, but they're both likely wave counts. Otherwise, I wouldn't show them to you. This count remains a likely option as long as we're holding here $16.90, the 78.6 retracement, which means we can still drop lower. And I would assume we go down lower as long as we stay below the trend line. I mean, this is a nice guide. I like these trend lines when we don't use them very often, but when we have one with at least 3 touch points and we're waiting for a breakout and we've got this trend line and we haven't got a breakout, then I would just use that to track lower until we see a breakout. And then we know, okay, if we see a breakout, it's worth tracking a wave 1 to the upside. And there is now relevant support at 22.50. You know about this level. We've been talking about that now for weeks. Still holding, no indication it has bottomed. Below that level, we've got 20.20 and then this $18.60 level, $18.70 level. But as you can see here, again, another rejection from the trend line, quite a strong one. So let's see, if we break below Friday's or Saturday's low, I think we're heading to that $20.20 level. At the moment, preference is for continuation to the downside, of course, until we break above the trend line. Okay, that's my update about Solana. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.